John, great to have you with us as usual. We'll do a little golf here at the end. Let's start with the mindset of the winning team today, because that's what the Diamondbacks care about. If the winning team, knowing that they're playing for the Diamondbacks, essentially, but also knowing that they got a game the next day and they like to get on that plane as quickly as possible, either Milwaukee or San Diego, do you think the winning team will care about knocking off the losing team once they get to game two? I'm interested in that. Let me hear.
I just don't see how you put forth all your resources knowing you got to play the next game. Whoever wins game one, they know they're in. And there's no way that I'm pitching Severino in game two, obviously, if the Mets win, and there's no way I'm pitching Sale in game two. I would make the argument that whoever wins game one is going to be content with whatever happens in game two. So the Diamondbacks are in a very tough spot. And I would say that their season came down to against the Padres when they didn't score a run. I mean, 0-0 in the ninth, and the Padres didn't exactly have their whole arsenal going. So, there's always what ifs, could have beens, but I just don't see a scenario realistically, unless the other team plays horrible in the second game, how they don't get a split based on the importance of who you're going to play, because you've got to play the next day.
100%. I am with you 1,000%. Now, if you had to root for somebody, John, if you were Arizona, and I'm fascinated by the Diamondback thing, you'd have to root for the Braves in game one, because there might be they're at home, last licks. Maybe they get a kick out of beating the Mets. I think if anybody has a better chance to sweep, it would be Atlanta, based on the Met history in that ballpark. Do you agree with that at all or no?
Probably. I would say, though, that the Mets collectively, 1 through 26, are more healthy and have a better roster to utilize and guarantee that there isn't a sweep. But I can see that argument just based on the history and the tightness of knowing you got to win that second game. But when you talk about this day and age, leverage pitching and decisions and analytics, they're going to go out the window in game two for the team that wins. I don't think there's any leverage situation that you could put a player in that would have to be ready for the next day, especially when you're going to San Diego, that you're just going to see somebody have to eat up innings that may not be significant for the playoff roster, may not even be on the playoff roster in that second game. That doesn't mean they can't get the job done, but I just think you're talking about when you're trying to figure out how your best chances are to move forward for either team. I think both teams are going to get a win in today's game just based on what we talked about.
Do you think this first game today will be incredibly intense and playoff atmosphere? Or knowing they have a sort of a little parachute in game two? I mean, for instance, would he pitch Iglesias 2 innings in the first game if he had to? Would he go to Diaz for 2 innings? Would he have to? Or would he play it a little more conservatively knowing he's got a game two? How do you think the managers are going to handle game one? Let me hear.
I just know that if I was in position to guarantee a postseason, I would do what you suggest. I would have to push the gas down, knowing what the second game doesn't provide, right? And I think if you're either team in this, there's no way when you're setting up your lineup for game two, let's just say the Braves win game one, and you see that Sale's not pitching in game two, then you probably still have to start Severino, I guess, but you just know that the lineup's going to be drastically different. And the pitching and how they use the pitching is going to be different. So I think that matters. And I think that game one will be an ultimate playoff game. There is a parachute for the other team in the second game. But I think you got to go for it and establish yourself in the postseason, and then just kind of kick back and see what happens in game two and not have the obvious stress that you have to win game two.
Is this a huge advantage, the fact they have to play 2 today for San Diego and Milwaukee, who play the winners and losers tomorrow? What's your take with that?
I think so. It's unfortunate for all three teams to be in this position, that being Arizona, the Mets, and the Braves. But it is what it is. And what you'll hear the other managers speak to is not so fast, meaning San Diego and Milwaukee. You got a team coming in kind of scrambling to get in, adrenaline rush all throughout the night to get there, and then they're gonna adopt the mindset like, what do we got to lose? Like, we had to get here by the last minute. Let's just keep rolling. I think at some point you run out of that gas, but it may not be in the first game of that series. Look at what the Mets have had to do. They go to Atlanta, then they had to turn around and go back to Milwaukee, play that series, turn around, go back to Atlanta, and then turn around and go back to Milwaukee if they get in. You're going to be kind of frantically going about your season, and you're going to play a game the next day with a lot of momentum and a lot of adrenaline. But how do you sustain that? So good thing is for these teams, it's only best of three. You can sustain that in the best of three. The travel's going to get you a little bit, but if it was best of five, it would definitely have its impact, I think, at a more adverse situation.
Did the Astros get a bad break yesterday that Kansas City beat the Braves and they get screwball in game one with the Tigers, who are on fire, instead of the Royals, who they just beat 4 straight times 3 weeks ago in that ballpark? Did the Astros get a bad break? Let me get your take with that.
They did in game one. They certainly did in game one. I think the Astros have all the experience in the world. I think it's a unique story. Of course, former manager coming back, a team that's on fire. These are the narratives you have to battle in the postseason. And you know how you handle these narratives? You go out and establish your will. If you don't, the narrative grows. And if I'm Detroit Tigers, I obviously know what A.J. Hinch is going to be saying. Guys, I hate this tagline. We have nothing to lose. I hate that. But in reality, they are playing right with house money. They are going to be the team that nobody wants to play because of how hot they are and their frontline starter. In a best of three, and if you go in their park and win 2 out of 3, tip your hat. But I still think that the obvious experience of the Houston Astros will matter. And this is a great time to be a Detroit Tiger fan, to see what your young players are going to do under these circumstances. And for the future, it's fantastic. They don't care about that right now. They're rolling the dice going, good luck trying to beat us. We're going to throw 6 pitchers at you after game one. We're going to have a bunch of left-handed hitters if you need it. I think the formula for the Tigers is pretty incredible when you think about how they made the playoffs.
Oh, I think they're dangerous. I'm with you. And before we do the golf, I think San Diego is very dangerous in this National League. I understand they're going to have a tough run if they play the Braves, maybe sail in game one, which would be tricky. And then they're sitting there with the Dodgers in that bracket, which, I don't like. I think they should reseed anyway. But they got the Dodgers in that bracket in that second round. But they play the Dodgers well, and then the Phillies. So that's a very tough run. But I think the Padres, a lot of miraculous home runs, excellent bullpen, good starting pitching. If you told me that San Diego got to the World Series, John, I would not be surprised. I think you probably agree, right?
I totally agree. They are a very well-rounded ball club that do a lot of great things. Nobody wants to play them, just like I think nobody wants to play the Cleveland Guardians. They got a great bullpen. They've got really good starting pitching, and their offense has got a lot of flexibility to it. I think the San Diego Padres know what they are. They've beaten the Dodgers before. They've got to take care of 2 out of 3. That's a dangerous series, no matter who they face. And they understand what's before them. Being at home helps, and knowing what they did in the past helps. So this is my first time in the postseason that I could realistically say I wouldn't be shocked if 2 teams that nobody saw coming out of the playoff teams got to the World Series. That's how competitive this season is going to be between all the teams that are lined up to play in the postseason.
100%. And you got your golf going here, too. A new format. You go all over the place. You're still probably +1. No, probably a scratch right now, maybe a -1. Give me a little rundown on this latest golf venture for you, John. I'm interested. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're so excited about the Pro Cup. And this Pro Series is a tournament that's going to take place in December. It's going to be a Ryder Cup between baseball, basketball, football, and hockey. It's going to be the first of its kind. 12 people on each team. We just saw the President's Cup. You can't be fired up enough. If you have never played match play in a Ryder Cup, it is a blast. Baseball, I will be captaining the baseball. We've got an exciting format that's going to take place to where we get to a championship on Saturday after 54 holes of competing round robin with the other sports. And this is going to grow and get bigger and bigger. And you know what? we have a lot of pressure on us because baseball is going to be one of the favorite teams, but that's the way this thing's going to be built. And if you want to beat the best, you better learn how to get better at your craft. And you talk about fun. This is going to be a blast. It's going to be at Innisbrook and Tampa in December.
Oh, Innisbrook and Tampa. Okay. Wasn't sure where. Well, that is a good event. I will like that, and we'll watch you guys go out there and play. Good job, John. Thanks for the update today. We'll keep an eye on you throughout the postseason. We'll get you out a couple of different places. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.